Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own custom jungle floating islands in Minecraft. And we are using World Edit and Voxel Sniper like we always do, so let's get right into the video. So the blocks we're going to be using to make these floating islands include the lime terracotta, green terracotta, mossy stone brick, stone, cobblestone, andesite, clay, then podzol, coarse dirt, grass, and then for the vegetation it is a jungle, so we're going to be using a lot more blocks than we usually do. So we're going to use grass, fern, cobweb, blue orchid, that white flower that I don't know how to pronounce, jungle leaves, the dark oak sapling, and the jungle sapling. So we also need the wooden axe to run world edit commands, and the gunpowder and arrow for Voxel Sniper. So we're going to start out by making the base of the islands just like we always do with the command/B over D1. Now what this command does is it sets the brush to the overlay command. So whatever we set the brush size to, for instance now we're setting it to 5, it will set down a disk with a diameter of 5 whenever we click. So once we set our voxel to stone with /V stone, every time we click it's going to spawn in a disc with a diameter of 5, and that allows us to just kind of spam this gunpowder wherever to kind of get these floating islands to be the shape that we want them to be. I'm liking the way that one looks, just kind of trim it up a bit, and I just kind of spam it for the sake of time. You can get really nitpicky on the details of where you want all of it to be, but the reality is it is organic, so you want it to look random anyway, so there's really no harm, no foul with just kind of being careless with where you put it. And if you do put something off to the side that you really don't like, you can type /U to undo the command, and whatever number you put after it is how many commands you want it to undo. So for this example, I'm doing /U5, enter, and it'll get rid of all those. And this is going to be the last of the floating islands that we are going to make. We're just going to do 3 for this tutorial. Now we are going to set our brush size to 3 to make the tips a little bit more pointy. You know, we always do that with these tutorials. And once we're done with this island here, usually we would flip it at this point, but I am going to start off with the /B space SBMM command to use the splatter effect, and now we're going to do /VR stone to replace the stone with /V clay with a brush size of 5. So now once we put in the tip of the top of these islands, just to make it look a little less flat and blunt, we'll be able to click wherever we want on the stone, and it will have a splatter effect of clay spawn in. Perfect. So you'll see here we're just going to heavily saturate the tops of these with clay and kind of spread out the clay as we move down towards the base of this stone won't turn to clay. Well, that's fine, we'll just get rid of it. Towards the base of the island. And I like this just because it adds a different texture to the top of the island. It makes it look more realistic because the shades of rock in the earth actually differ. Even though it's clay, I do like the way the texture looks, and I think it's a good choice. Now what we're going to do is we need a spot to put in the green terracotta and the lime terracotta, so I'm actually just going to use /V dirt, but we are going to world edit this dirt into the lime green and dark green terracotta in just a sec. We're just kind of putting this around the base so it looks like the terracotta will be flowing down from the grass and jungle itself, and this just adds in a nice green texture to make the jungle look a lot more lush and alive. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use the /B tree command to spawn in a bunch of jungle bushes on the underside of the island. And what that does is now every time we click with the gunpowder on the dirt, it will spawn in a small jungle bush. So this makes it look like even the underside of these islands are overgrown, and I think it's a really nice detail that's easy to do, so why not do it? It's the first one down, and there really is no right or wrong way of doing this. I try to keep it off the edge just so it doesn't look too out of place, because if we put it here, then it'll just have a bunch of leaves jutting out directly from the top of the island. So I kind of keep it away from the edge there, but you can really put them wherever. So onto the last island here. I just try to keep it random, just like we always do, and that should be good. So now we're going to use World Edit to select all of these islands into one region. So we're going to do /pause 1 in this corner. Then we're going to fly up directly opposite to set pause 2 in the other corner, successfully highlighting the entire build. I think it'll just look better if we put one there. Alright, / pause 2. And now we're going to do replace the dirt with the green terracotta, and the IDs for these green blocks are 159:5 and 159:13. So we're going to do / replace dirt, comma grass, just because some of that dirt might have already turned into grass, but you never know, with space 159:5, comma 159:13. That's the what that's going to do is kind of set all of those to the green terracotta blocks. Now we are going to replace the stone with stone, mossy stone, cobblestone, andesite, and that's it. So the IDs goes follows: andesite's 1:5, cobblestone's 4, stone's 1, and mossy cobblestone is 48. So we're going to do / replace stone with 1,5 or 1:5, 4 and 48. But I actually want there to be less total cobblestone here, so we're going to hold off on the 48 just to get this done. And now we're going to / replace cobblestone with 4,4,4,48. What that's going to do is it's only going to replace some of the cobblestone to the mossy cobblestone, and I think that looks really good. And now it's time to flip all of these upright. So / come to the middle, / copy, and what this is doing is it just copied all of those islands because they are in the region we selected, and now we're going to set them all to air with / set air. Enter. And that should get rid of all of them. Yes, it did. Now we're going to look up into the sky, / flip, to flip those islands upside down, successfully changing them from mountain peaks into the bases of our floating islands. Now we're going to paste them in with / paste -A to get rid of all the air blocks, and enter. Give it a sec, and here we go. So now what we need to do is we need to set the very base of this top layer all to stone, because we can't overlay just any block with the stone to make the top part of these islands. So we're just going to set a region, pause 1 over here, that encompasses this whole thing. So now once we're over here, / pause 2, / replace stone. That's all you have to do. If you don't specify a material after that, it will just replace all of the blocks to that block. So enter. And now we're going to stack it. Just look up to the sky, / stack. So now we successfully are here. Now what we're going to do is /B over D1 with a brush size of 3 with a voxel of stone. Now we could go around and make what we want the top layer of these islands to look like. Again, just make it kind of random. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. If you want to have it really flat, rolling hills, sharp island peaks, it's really up to you. Since we are doing a jungle though, I'm going to keep it relatively flat just to give room for all the trees we're going to spawn in, because it's going to be hard to see the ground anyway due to all the vegetation and all of the trees that we are going to spawn in momentarily. And we're on the last island here. This one's fairly large, so it does take a sec. I am going kind of fast just for the sake of the video. Normally I would kind of slow it down and be a little bit more careful with where I am placing the blocks, but you know, I still think it looks really good. And since we are using organics, that kind of helps me because it does have to look random, so that's what we're doing. And I like the way this looks. Now we are going to do /B space SBMM once again with a voxel replace for stone, and /V, what are we doing? Dirt. brush size of 5, and we're going to spam across the edge here. And we do want this to be very thick and very heavy, because we are going to replace this with those green blocks that we did earlier, the dark green and lime green terracottas, as well as the other types of dirt. So once we get here, we are going to go down a little bit more just to make sure we get all of the underside of these islands. And the reason I'm doing this is just because we want a good transition from the dirt on the top of the island down to the stone on the bottom. You don't want it to look clean cut, you don't want it to look geometric. So what we're doing is we're going to make this dirt, using World Edit, turn into coarse dirt, and the 2 green blocks, the green and lime green terracottas. Then once we kind of quickly fly underneath here and put a little bit more of that dirt in there, we should be good. I like the way that looks. So the IDs go as follows. Coarse dirt is 3:1, green terracotta is 159:13, and lime terracotta is 159:5. So // replace dirt with 159:13, 159:5,3:1. Enter. Right, but we didn't set our region right. So we're going to fly over here. We just need to make sure that we're encompassing the whole thing once again. Especially pause 1, because when we stacked the top layer, we reset where our region was. It's always good to try to make sure that you are encompassing the whole region so you don't have to go back and rerun commands. And there we go. Just rerun that. And I really like the way it looks. I'm actually going to undo that and add in a little bit more coarse dirt. So / 3:1, 3:1. Just add in 3 sets of coarse dirt there. And I think that looks a lot better. Now we are going to set the grass on the very top of these islands with /B over D1 /B10 /V grass. And the arrow does the exact opposite of the gunpowder. So now every time we click, it is going to have the grass integrate itself into the stone block instead of going on top of the block. And then once we're done with this island here, we do want the grass to be a mixture of grass, coarse dirt, and podzol. So the IDs are 3:2, 3:1, and 2. So we're going to do // replace 2 with a lot of 2s because we want the majority to be grass. Then 3:1, 3:2, enter. And I really like that, the way that looks. I think it has a lot of great texture to it. And now we are going to be spawning in the trees. So what we do for this is we do /B tree to pull up a list of all the available trees in the game. We are going to be using the cocoa tree and the jungle tree. So we're going to do /B tree jungle. And now every time we click with the gunpowder, we will have jungle trees spawn in. And since these are the biggest trees, I am going to be using them sparingly, just because we do want this to look somewhat like a normal jungle in Minecraft, just because that's what people's eyes are used to seeing when they think of a jungle in this game. Just add a couple more trees on this island here. /U if you make a mistake. Then we are going to move on to using smaller jungle trees, so /B tree cocoa _ tree. Right, I forgot the arrow there. Then we are just going to spawn in just a lot of these trees. You want to be a little on the heavy side for these because jungles are very dense and you do want it to have that feel. We are trying to get just a top canopy with the big trees, then the medium level with the regular cocoa trees, and then we're going to have the jungle floor be filled with all the vegetation and the small jungle bushes. And there's really no right way to do this. Just fly around spamming your gunpowder. Don't go too overboard, but also keep it random like I've been stressing throughout all of my tutorials, because you don't want your organics to look not random, because that makes it look like it was man-made, and that kind of ruins the atmosphere of the whole build. And there we go. I think that's good. So now we're going to do /B tree jungle _ bush. Then fly around the base of the jungle and spawn it in on the ground. What this does is it just makes it look a lot more lush, a lot more lively, And like I said earlier, it gives it just the 3 levels of height to the build with the vegetation. I just think it looks really good overall. And on to the second island. Just finish this up real quick. And on the last island. Just a couple more. There we go. I think that looks good. Maybe place one on the edge there. And now we're going to run a command that places grass on the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to do /b sover c d1 /vi. I think it's 0. No, it's /vi1 /vr0. Then we're going to set our brush size to 10 and our voxel to long_grass. So I felt like I didn't do the best job with that. So it's, once again, it's /b sover cd1. Then it's /vi1 /vr0 /b10 /v long grass. And now every time we click with our gunpowder, it's going to spawn in the grass with just over the grass blocks themselves. And if you hold down your gunpowder, it will make it more dense in an area. If you want it to be less dense, then just click once. It's really up to you. And once we have this area completely full, you also don't have to worry about where you click. You just kind of hold it down wherever, and it will only spawn on the grass blocks themselves. Now what we're going to do is we're going to replace the grass with grass, ferns, cobwebs, blue flowers, white flowers, jungle leaves, the dark oak sapling, and that's it. So the grass is 31:1, and the fern is 31:2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in 31:1, 31:2, and I'm actually going to copy that just because we're going to want to have a lot more of the grass itself than the rest of these blocks. So the IDs go as follows. Cobwebs are 30. So I'm just going to go ahead and type that in chat so I can remember these. 30, then 38:1, and 38:3 for the flowers, 38:3. Then we're gonna want 18:3 for the jungle leaves and 6:5 for the dark oak sapling. So now we're gonna run the replace command. It's gonna really bring this place to life. So we're gonna do //replace. Then we're gonna copy in all of those grass and ferns that we had. Then we're gonna put in, actually I'm gonna make it a little less dense. Then we're gonna put in (30). Then we're gonna put in a lot of those flowers. So we're gonna do 31:1, 38:1, 38:3, 38:3. Then (6:5). I'm gonna want a couple of those dark oak saplings. So we're going to do 3 of those, and then just 1 set of jungle leaves, and enter. Right. Undo that. So // undo. Whenever you make a mistake with World Edit, I forgot to set what we're actually replacing to. So we're going to replace 31 with all of this. So // replace 31 with that long string of numbers that I have typed in. You don't have to have it exactly that. I'm just setting it to the preference of what % I want the certain blocks to be. And enter. And there we go. I do think we went a little bit heavy on the... Why did it look like that? Yeah, I think that looks good. There's just a little bit too many cobwebs. So we're going to do // replace 30 with 31:1, 31:1, 30, and enter. And there we go. We now have our very own jungle islands. I really like the way these things looked. The last thing we have to do is clean up the base because the brushes in this game are messy, much like they are in real life. So you do have a little bit of cleanup process to do after you're done building. So we're going to set our first position on the ground over there. Put the second position in the sky here, / set air. And then we're going to do the same command to get rid of the dirt on the ground there that we did to place the dirt on the top of the island. So /b over d1 /v grass, then /b20, click around with the arrow, and we are good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I did a good job of explaining how to make these jungle floating islands in Minecraft. I hope that you guys now feel inspired to make some of these on your own, and I do plan to keep making more tutorials like this. So if you like this sort of thing, make sure that you keep up to date with this channel, because I think the next one I'm going to do is a flower forest. After that, we're going to do a mesa biome, and we're just going to keep going through all the biomes. So without further ado, that's all I wanted to cover in this video, so thank you all for watching.